All right, John, thanks. Well, this week, the Trump administration continued its efforts to reduce the size, the scope of the federal government. But Democrats are sounding the alarm about impacts on the federal workforce and on critical programs like Social Security. Erie News Now Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon is joining us live at the White House tonight. Brendan, you have the very latest on the administration's efforts and also reaction. What did you find today?
Hey there, Eva. Good evening to you. Well, President Trump's employee buyout for federal civilian employees is tomorrow. The deadline for that buyout is tomorrow. And that buyout, paired with a hiring freeze for federal employees across the executive branch, is concerning for many Democratic lawmakers who are warning about the potential impacts of a worker shortage on key government programs like Social Security. As promised, the Trump administration taking drastic measures to reduce the size and scope of the federal government.
President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient.
Of the 2 million federal employees, so far about 1%, or roughly 20,000, have taken President Trump's buyout offer ahead of Thursday's deadline. White House officials expect that number to grow closer to its goal between 5 and 10%. As more federal employees call it quits, more Democrats are sounding the alarm about a smaller federal workforce, including the impacts of the president's hiring freeze for workers throughout the executive branch. Last year, the Social Security Administration's workforce hit a 27-year low. Many veteran health facilities are also stretched thin.
President Trump's federal hiring freeze will exacerbate these staffing problems, hurt seniors, hurt people with disabilities, and harm veterans.
According to the White House, nothing in the hiring freeze shall adversely impact the provision of Social Security, Medicare, or veterans benefits. In addition, the director of the Office of Personnel Management may grant exemptions from this freeze where those exemptions are otherwise necessary. But New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand says the hiring freeze will harm the millions in her state who rely on Social Security, Medicare, and VA benefits.
The hiring freeze makes things worse at those agencies. It risks increasing application processing times, wait times for appointments, and hold times for the phone calls, which would effectively prevent seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities from getting their benefits and the health care they need to live.
And Eva, I was at that White House press briefing this afternoon with Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She and the administration, as they have time and time again, really emphasized that President Trump has a mandate from the American people to do what he campaigned on. And part of that promise includes making the government more efficient and cutting spending and reducing the size and scope of the federal government. Reporting live at the White House for Erie News Now, I'm Brendan Scanlon. Eva, back to you.